Okay guys, this is part 2 of what's actually part 6, I believe, of our CMPro canopy installation. And what we're doing is we're working on the retaining clip that holds this thing in. So I'm just taking up residual epoxy there from that last batch and just kind of mixing it in. And we're just going to work this in. Sorry if the camera's shaking a lot, guys. Notice that just now. Okay, so now we're just going to take this and try to get this goop dropped in on either side. On either side of this assembly. Trying somewhat desperately to keep everything square, but it's just, I don't think it's gonna be square. I don't think it is square. The hole's not perfectly square. And my assembly is certainly not perfectly square. So take and lay this support right there, and I need to get that thing held up a little bit higher. So we're going to take a couple of these chunks of foam. These things are super handy for this, just this type of event. Where you got your epoxy cooking. You just really need to get something held in a weird angle. And I do need to get it held in a weird angle, but I don't need it to come flying apart. Okay. So I don't want that to fall either. Okay, so we'll come in here and grab some of this 15-minute epoxy. Try to get about half of it. And let it start dripping. Okay, and just let it goop down. Okay, grab the slither, that little drip, and I'm just going to let it drip down again on this side too. I'm going to put a little bit on top, and I'm going to spread it up the sidewalls just a hair. I'm going to take and slide it up the sides of the sidewall there. And obviously the surface area, it works. I mean, it counts when you, this will increase the strength of the vehicle. I'm trying to get you guys a view of this. I'm guessing you're probably not going to be able to see very great. Sorry in advance, I got to try to get it together too. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit more. Like about 90% of it that's left. Kind of sticking there, guys. Spin it a couple times. Come in here and do kind of the same thing I did, except on this side this time. Just big glob of it. Let it fall down. Okay. Now I started on that side in the last video. I had a little bit mixed up for the initial. Okay. Just kind of scrape and clean the stick here. Trying to avoid getting it all on the metallic portion. The metallic portion, of course, is what slides in and out, making and breaking contact with the canopy assembly itself. And you can see how that metal rod is just a little bit at an angle, but I don't know if I can do better than that, because it's just not, it's not perfect. And I'm more concerned about trying to make it hold together than I am trying to make that particular step real pretty, you know. Okay, just taking that and just letting it drip. Drip. Okay. Same thing here. Drip. Drip. And then up and down the length. Okay. So set this down. Okay, a little baby powder. Get it on your fingertips. That'll allow us to work with the plane without getting stuff on the plane, and it'll also allow us to continue the process without having to switch gloves and stuff all the time. Okay, so we can take the plane, and I want to have a place for it to rest upside down, but I'm not going to rest it up high like that. Okay, so I need to quickly evaluate while I can. It looks like the goop and everything is kind of holding it together. Plus we have the mechanical advantage of the forceps holding it in position, and we have it all the way at the front, so that when we run the release mechanism, it's gonna move back. So you want to make sure that pocket's open. You've got that pocket. We could open that pocket more if we needed to as well. But just looking in there, it looks like we've got a pretty decent amount of adhesion. I'm gonna see if I can get a light so we can shine it down in there. Oh yeah, see, we got that goop dripping way back. Not a big problem, but not exactly planned out that way. Yeah, that goop's dripping back too, which I could take a Q-tip, and a Q-tip is probably going to pulverize with this 15-minute epoxy, but my objective is different here now. It's to, I gotta try to get light to shine down there. It's always awkward working in this thing. Okay, now I'm going to take and spread that epoxy back and forth. Okay, so wherever it's dripping, I'm just spreading it along the sides, up and away, and then up and onto the structure. Okay, and what that's going to do is it's just going to make a tremendous amount of surface area, because that epoxy almost becomes its own little, its own little thing. And I apologize in advance if you guys aren't getting a great view of this. I'm not getting a great view of this, if it makes you feel better. There just isn't probably a great view of this step, because it's unseen. The unseen wonders of RC aviation. Okay, so when this is all said and done too, I'll have to come back in here and just make sure that everything feels tight and secure. And I'm cautiously optimistic that we're getting a pretty decent bond. Just seeing if I can get a view of it through this little hole here, which I can't really. The other thing is I'm just making sure with 100% certitude that I have the material all the way up there at the tip. I'd really like this cotton swab to rip off up there, which I think I'm gonna try to encourage it to happen like that. Oop, you see it move a little bit, guys? That's not so hot. Okay, I think I just need to stop screwing with it. I think we just need to let it sit and dry and set up now that we have the epoxy spread to and fro. We'll leave this on there for now. I'm just pulling it down. Now I just need to, it just makes me nervous as all get out. The fact that this slot doesn't look like it's exactly perfectly square makes me super nervous. But if you look at this little piece right here, this square to this square, there's an angle for the sweep, and then it gets flat. But if you look between there and there, that thing is centered. And if you look here, it's very well centered. That's actually the direction I'm concerning myself with, which I think is the correct way to do it. I'm also wondering if I should stick some foam in here to push tight on that. Nah, I'm just going to flip it upside down for now. And I'm going to do the unthinkable. I'm going to go eat dinner. And then I'm going to come back to this in a few hours. And hopefully all hell doesn't break loose while I'm gone. Okay, so let's get this thing back so that it's situated and supported. Just like so. Need a little bit higher support. Okay, so that's pretty secure. It shouldn't slip off of there at all. And I want that thing flat and level as much as possible, so that as that epoxy runs, it's going to run where it needs to run. Okay, guys. I wish I had more for you, but I don't. And I won't for a while. The next step is going to be to try to glue these things in. I didn't expect this to be a 3-step video, but it probably is going to be just that. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Get you one more shot before we go. We're going to do it with the light, though. It's going to be super charitable today. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.